There's often this problem when you start looking for a job without having any experience and there's no job because all the companies require a person to have at least several years of a previous experience. But how can you get the experience if you have never worked and if there is no jobs that allow you to work without experience? This is madness. So if you are a student or you are just graduated or perhaps you switched careers and you have no professional experience, how do you get a job? Let's figure it out together. Do as many internships as possible while you're still studying. Even if you have finished your studies already, still do try to get an internship for at least 3 months. This is what I did when I graduated from Copenhagen School of Design and Technology, and I was not sure what to do next in my life, so I found an internship in Berlin and I moved to Germany for 6 months to do this internship there, which was paid, by the way. And this was pretty much a real work experience. I didn't even feel as I'm just an intern. I felt fully integrated to the team and I considered myself a team member as everybody else. And this experience had taught me so much that I continued working for that company later on. And I did a lot of freelance gigs as well. So if you're still studying at the moment and you have several hours per week to do the job, try to get an internship because you create your network, you build the skills, and you have something to put to your resume. I think having an internship is really a ticket to the bright future. And who knows, maybe you, exactly like me, can stay in this company later on and to keep working there. Fill in your LinkedIn profile. There are so many students or just people who have never really worked who do not have a LinkedIn profile. And if you live in Europe or the US or anywhere else in the world, LinkedIn most often is a must-have tool because this is where you look for a job, this is where you follow other people from your niche, this is where you can get found by an HR specialist, by recruiters, by companies, and this is also where you learn a lot about today's labor market. So I would definitely recommend you to fill it in. If you have struggles and you don't really know how LinkedIn works, I created this free PDF that you can download. It's like a very basic instruction for you to start with. You can download it if you follow the link below in the description and just have it, because LinkedIn is like a business card for you. This is where the magic happens. And I have found so many jobs through LinkedIn and so many internships in my life that I genuinely believe that this is a tool to build a bright future for you. Nevertheless, it is extremely important to stick with your circle and to be active in your social circle when you look for a job, because this is how a lot of great opportunities come. When you talk to your mom's colleague, or you get a call with your ex-classmate, or you just like talk to some people you have ever met in your life and you casually inform them that you look for opportunities, you never really know who could be that person who will introduce you to your potential hiring manager. So just talk to your circle, broaden up your network, and let people know that you're looking for a job. And don't be shy mentioning that you have no experience, because you can't imagine how many people there are in the businesses who actually need somebody exactly like you, who doesn't really have any job experience but just wants to learn and can do even some basic stuff for the very beginning. This would be a win-win for both you and the person who could hire you. I already mentioned how important LinkedIn is, but I also want to add about one trick that really helped me at some point of my career. Following people who you admire, or just finding people whose professional path really inspires you and who you think could be, in a way, an example for you to follow. So what you could do is just to search people working in specific positions and Try to see where they have been working before, where they have been studying, which exact experience has led them to the position where they are today. And this will help you just to create a better picture of what your options are. And here we come to the next point, is that you do not necessarily need to approach the biggest company in your niche, or you don't have to talk to the biggest startups or the biggest organizations that do exactly what you want to do. There are so many smaller brands, smaller firms that actually do exactly the same services that you want to provide. And it's a lot easier sometimes to get in touch with those smaller companies because the competition amongst people like you having no experience is much lower, and they are often a lot more willing to get more people on board, more people on the team, and to teach you because they actually do have time to teach you. And the great thing about working in a smaller company is that it's often a lot easier to do a large variety of duties in those small firms, because in the big, very well-established companies, it can be so that they already have their own routines and everything is really hard to manage, and it takes weeks or months to get an improvement for some specific idea or specific actions, whereas the smaller companies are normally a lot more flexible and you actually get to do a lot more different things during your 3 months internship. Try to apply to bigger companies if you want to, but definitely never neglect the smaller ones. Make a list of, let's say, 50 different companies that you could potentially work with or you see yourself working at, and find the contacts of their hiring managers or the managers of those departments that you are interested in, and email them directly. You can often find contacts on LinkedIn, or you can message them through LinkedIn directly. And I really recommend you to have an Excel sheet or just like a table where you keep all the contacts or all the emails or all the names of the companies you contact, just like to keep track of who you are contacting. And don't get disappointed too quickly if somebody doesn't respond to you, because there is this rule of 30%. When you send 100 emails, there is a high chance that 30% of them will respond to you. And it doesn't mean they will all say yes to you, but they will at least respond to you. And amongst those 30%, there will be at least 5 to 10% who would be actually potentially interested. So the more emails you send and the more people you get in touch with, the higher your chances to get a job are. So don't be afraid. And whenever you email people, write them what you could offer to the company as a person who doesn't really have an experience. Just try to make an offer, try to sell yourself, because this email is your only chance to pitch yourself. So try to use it wisely. Don't write really long text, don't make a long copy. You can add a link to your resume or LinkedIn profile or whatever you have to show, but just don't overwhelm the person, because I also think that that person opens your mail and he or she, they don't know who you are. So try to be concise, but also straight to the point. Last but not least for this video, expand your circle of search. Look for remote jobs. If you cannot find something in your city, try to look somewhere else, because frankly speaking, today, even though we are all back to the offices, a lot of people still work remotely, and there is a high chance that even if you will work in your own city, you will still work remotely several days a week. At least this is how it is in Stockholm, Sweden. And by the way, you can let me know in the comments if it is the same in your country or in your region. But very often there is no need to travel to the office, so why not to work remote? And you actually still will need to learn work remotely, because this is where the future is, and we are already living in this future. So I would say just go on with that and try to learn how to work independently, work on your own from home, And believe me, there are so many job options when you look for remote jobs. It's just insane. So use this chance wisely. And always remember, there are actually a lot more jobs than you can imagine. And if they are not posted online, either on LinkedIn or on any other platform, it doesn't mean that they exist. There are so many brands who just never post the job ads online because they simply don't have time. And this is why it's so extremely important to approach the people from the brands directly and to email them and to ask them if they need help. And especially if we come back to where I have started the video, if you are eager to have an internship and to work either for free or for a smaller commission for at least 3 months, believe me, this will be a game changer for many companies who actually need help, but they just don't even have time to let the world know about it. So be brave, take a step, and get this job. If you are currently looking for a job and you don't have any experience, let me know in the comments what you have already done to search for a job, what has worked for you, what hasn't. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like that, and we see each other on Instagram. You can follow me there, Edina Daily, and see you soon in the next video on this channel.